Okay, we've set it up so that now the spaceship can blow up when it gets hit by an asteroid. And so there it is. It makes a loud sound and it stops the game. Wouldn't it be interesting if we could change the backdrop so that it says game over? So I've gone ahead and in my stage I've created some new backdrops. You can do it any way that you want, any kind of backdrop that you want. I set up a series of backdrops that makes it look like there's fire coming out of where the spaceship is. So it grows bigger and bigger until we end up with a game over. Okay, so why don't you pause this video right now and create 4 new backdrops that look like some sort of explosion that turns into a final game over. Okay, I would suggest that you start with your first one and use your duplicate it, change it to add a little bit of fire, duplicate that one, add more fire. That's how I did it. Okay, go ahead and do that now. Great, so now you should have 4 new backdrops, and we're going to set it up to cycle through them to make it look like the explosion is growing when the game is over. So I'm going to go into my spaceship, and I need to be in the scripts for the spaceship. There we go. And what we're going to do is when it's touching the asteroid, it's actually going to send a message. It's called a broadcast in Scratch to tell the stage to change the backdrop. So we're going to go into Events and we're going to choose Broadcast Message and Wait. And our message, we're going to create a new message and we're going to call it Game Over. This tells the stage that the game is over and it should change the backdrop. Okay. Now we'll go into the stage and we're going to create a new script. First we have to set up what the correct background is when the game starts. So we're going to say when the green flag is clicked, we're going to switch the backdrop to the very first backdrop. Stars. And then we're going to go into Events and say when I receive this new event called Game Over, or this broadcast called Game Over, I'm going to change the backdrop 4 times because I had created a 4 new backdrops. So I'm going to use a repeat 4 times. I'm going to go into Looks and I'm going to go to the next backdrop. And then I'm going to wait so that you can actually see that backdrop before it goes to the next one. But we don't want to wait for a whole second. I'm going to say 0.15 seconds. Great. So let's play the game and see what happens. Good. So I see all of the different backdrops that happen, which is great. But then I still see the spaceship, and I want that last backdrop to cover the whole spaceship, or have the spaceship hide. So I'm going to go back into my spaceship. I'm going to go to Looks. I'm going to hide it. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure that it shows up again at the very beginning of the game. Now let's try and see what happens. Great, that looks a lot better. All right, so now our game is finished, our asteroid game is finished, and you can change the costumes. You don't need to use this spaceship or asteroids, you don't even need it to be in space. Let me show you an example of what I did. I took that very same game and instead I used a bunny. And the bunny has 2 jobs. One is to collect healthy foods and the second is to avoid things like candy and lollipops because that makes my health points go down. And eventually the bunny will get really sick if she has too much candy. So this is what I did. So my bunny goes and collects a carrot. Yum. But if it collects candy, it says ick, and it starts to fade. So you'll notice my health points are going down, but my scores are also going up when I eat healthy food. And eventually, the game will be over if I have too much candy. See how the bunny just disappears? So change your game to use whatever kinds of sprites you want to use, whatever kind of backdrops, whatever kind of costumes, and add more scores, add health points, and decrease the amount of points if they run into something bad. All right, that's the end of the videos. Thank you.